Hello everybody, welcome. Welcome to Theron's crafting stream. This is what programmers refer to as a crafting, because I'm crafting in game while I'm trying to finish up this last little bit of embroidery work in real life. Yeah, it gets interesting. Yay, in-game macros. Hello FK, hello Orca, hello Dargo. It's good to see you all. Tonight we'll probably work on Moogle tomes. That's my gut feeling. Of course, as soon as Rye shows up. Rye being late to... fashionably late to the crafting party. Ooh, I ran out of my food buff. I should fix that. Oh no, it's... is it broken again? Is it... yeah, it's broken again. Give me 1 second. It needs to be reloaded. There, it should be a little better now. Happy and bouncy, bouncy and happy. There we go. I am almost done with this. Just a little more to go. Ah. Haha! Last stitch! Okay, that's one color down. Of 3. Okay, that's enough of that. Actually, Rye isn't here yet, is she? Oh, she's coming on. Because what I'm doing is I'm making stuff to turn in for seals, and then I can buy this with the seals so that I can make all the other stuff I need to make. It's its own little ecosystem. I did send an invite to Rye, did I not? Yes, yes I did. Of course, I have no idea where I left Rye. It looks like I left Rye in Gridania. Well, I need to head to Gridania anyway, so... might as well get this over with. Do a couple little purchasing of FC buffs.
Hey.
There you are. So how did gaming with your dad go?
It went well. I had not gotten around to telling the story on that. So, of course, we started a new game while I was down there. We've gotten pretty far in.
Okay.
And yeah, I need to change some of the default settings.
Oh dear.
Because we have another war in heaven.
Oh no!
Which is the two fallen empires awakening and going after each other and wanting to drag everybody else in.
Oh yeah, that's going to be unpleasant.
Yeah, considering what some of their fleet strengths look like, yes. Thankfully, we were in much better shape for it this time than last time, and of course, at the start of it, we could easily coordinate what we were doing since we were in the same room. And of course, the normal Praetorian Scourge in-game crisis happened too. And as of when I left to come back home, we had all but finished off that part, so we were back down to the original two problems.
Oh dear.
And we are starting to get places on that. Still starting, but we're getting there.
Well, they've dropped the images of what the new equipment sets are going to be like.
Ooh.
They dropped effectively 4. The raid set, the new dungeon set, the new tombstone set, and the new crafting set.
Right. As long as the crafting set doesn't have useless Waldo arms.
It does not... Well, crafted set, not crafting.
Ah!
I'm wearing the crafting set, and it indeed has no Waldo arms.
I thought you said there was going to be another one of those too. Okay.
Nope.
Well, I will be back in a minute.
Oh no! Okay, for the next expansion, we have no clue what the jobs are going to be. If... Yeah,
that won't be announced until, after the expansion itself is announced.
Yeah, if they follow pattern, it will be a ranged physical DPS and a tank. If they follow pattern. They might not follow pattern. We won't know what one of the 2 new jobs is going to be until FanFest. That is usually when all the information on the next expansion drops. Right now, we're just looking at the current X-Pack, or patch cycle. Do I dare try and craft more? Yeah, we're still in the post-Dawn Trail cycle. Though we have started seeing hints at the new expansion storyline, because that's what we're building up to in the MSQ. Yeah, sorry if I'm a little slow tonight. I am a little under the weather, more stomach issues. Enough said about that. What do we have for Moogle tomes left for the week? The last week, actually. Probably Void Arc and Copperbell Hard. So So we will see how that plays out. Yeah, people are making predictions. My particular prediction, which a lot of people are saying, and it fits with their pattern that they tend to do, is we're going to end up in Mericidia. So it'll be interesting to check in with Tiamat on that one. Of course, that's probably a spoiler for you, FC, or FK.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm back. What are we doing? Besides inviting me to party.
Inviting you to party, and then I will be right back.
Ma.
Because my gut is being mean. It's a meanie. Meanie, 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 meanie.
Right. Oh. Okay, first of all, a little bit of news if Faye has not already covered it. This next week will be the next major patch, which is 7.4. And apparently there will be maintenance on Monday starting at 10. So we should be playing Atlas that night instead of FF14. Because, yeah, we're not going to come on for half an hour and then get booted. Yeah, okay. And keep in mind, take it at whatever speed you want. Don't rush through it. As Square Enix eventually realized, all of this is a marathon, not a sprint. Talking about releasing new classes and such. Early on, they were far more ambitious with their releases of dungeons and new classes and things like that. And they eventually realized, yeah, we need to pace ourselves a lot better. Now, to a certain extent, just kind of having a bunch of stuff at the original post game makes sense because there was, comparatively little, in quotes, to do. And these days, even if you're like us and sitting more or less at end game, there's so many previous expansions, different content to dip our toes into, old trades to go back to old dungeons, and vistas and orchestration roles and all of those other things to collect that we have done decently on. Did we ever get through most, if not all, of the vistas for Dawn Trail?
Nope.
What's that under?
Sightseeing?
It's under logs. We're at 38 out of 45 at least.
But we're not through it all.
No, but we have 7 to go. And yeah, we should do something about that.
Switch into Ast.
Done. Orca, I saw that you've posted the trailer. I have not watched it. Admittedly, Mega Man is something I'm only at best vaguely aware of.
Well, it was a console game, and we are not console people.
Yeah, it was a console game back from an era when I wasn't touching consoles. And, of course, is very much a Dex thing, which I am not generally into. MMOs are kind of one of my major exceptions.
And even then, they're not that Dex compared to a lot of other games.
They're more than Dex enough for me. So you wanted to be in Astrolution. I'm in Astrolution. Now what?
Waiting in queue.
Oh. Oh, okay, right. Doing your weekly.
Considering this is kind of the last week for them?
Yeah. And I suppose, assuming this goes off soonish, we'll finish off by doing Copperbell Mine Hard.
Yep.
2-man.
If you want.
I'm surprised you're saying if you want instead of saying yes, I insist. Since you usually do.
I keep forgetting how annoying that one is, 2-man. It's doable! But it is kind of annoying. Especially the final
hard
boss.
version?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I can still tank it at least.
This is true, and I can heal.
Dark Knight is more than qualified. Because even the hard mode is still 50.
Yeah, but it is kind of annoying. I think you did it healing last time.
Okay. Probable.
As we wait in queue. It says 6 minutes. I'll see how that goes.
Yeah, Orca, for me, consoles growing up were things other kids had. One thing, we didn't have a lot of money, and B, what little money we did have for such things went for computers. Getting a ColecoVision Atom was not necessarily our best choice.
It worked for you.
Yeah, it got me through junior high. And then just a little bit into high school, we got an Apple II clone. And we got a few games for that. Got Reach for the Stars. I know there was a... Oh, right, yeah, some of the other SSI games. The original Panzer Battles release. And I think Decisive Battles of the American Civil War was when we got on Apple. And then moved to PC a little after high school. And got a number of DOS games on that.
Yeah, my parents...
Including going over to Kevin's at one point and him basically just saying, yeah, this is a good game, and just handing us all these discs with games on it. I'm only talking about this because I'm sure the statute of limitations has expired.
Yeah, well...
The first PC game we bought, I believe, was Railroad Tycoon. That you were going to say about your...
Yeah, we were always a PC Mac family. Started Mac, transferred to PC.
Well,
mostly because my dad used them for work, being in charge of...
you didn't start on Mac. You started on the Apple II.
Well,
I'm not sure you guys ever had a Mac.
No. We got out just as the Mac was coming in.
Yeah. And, despite all its superior capabilities for certain things, those weren't the things you were using it for.
No.
Which was CNC control.
Yep. My parents owned a computerized machine shop really early in.
Yeah.
My dad is still pissed to this day because he missed...
Well, I don't think he is now.
Well, yeah, he's no longer with us. But he missed having a patent for the first hard drive by an hour.
I thought it was more floppy drive.
It was a drive. I think it was a hard drive.
Okay. Yeah, that would have changed things. Both of our families have near misses with greatness.
Yeah, well.
And consoles, I mean, I was aware of a few people who had them growing up, but I think the first time I had any chance at all at it was, well, one, the Atom was also a ColecoVision console, but we didn't have any of the cartridge games. We eventually borrowed a couple from a couple of people.
Well, a lot of it was, when it came out, it was expensive. And my dad refused to justify that sort of an expense on, quote-unquote, a toy, which I don't blame him for.
Yeah, especially when, a computer will do lots of more practical things and the games, and especially for me and my dad, games that we were far more interested in than almost anything you get on a console, especially in those days. Because we'd rather do the big strategy games, or tactical games as far as we're concerned. Now, this is the 80s, various companies trying to do proper war games in a computer environment was still very much a thing. That didn't get entirely pushed out by the more mass market stuff until the early 90s. But, my first real experience with a console was Neil's NES. And then I think he had an SNES later. But here's like the main person I knew who had a console. Real-time strategy is is related, but not the type of thing I'm talking about. Those are a little bit later. Now, I have enjoyed a number of them. I mean, Total Annihilation is one of the biggest love-hate relationships in my life. But, they just became more and more click fests and everything, and, masses of units crashing into each other without a whole lot of really thinking about what they're doing. And, early on, there was two fairly similar games that had slightly different approaches to things, both in controls and some of the game cycle. And the one I liked the least won out, which was the Warcraft model. I didn't like their control scheme as much, and Blizzard liked to go in for all these little tiny upgrades to units and everything. Which, I understand the idea, but I found it was far too much churn for the actual motion you get out of it.
By the way, if you don't know, there is actually a real-time strategy game built into Final Fantasy XIV.
Yeah, I need to try that someday. Is it actually RTS?
It is RTS.
Okay. Is it, but not base building RTS?
No.
Which is the major subgenre, which is kind of the default assumption because it's like 80% of all RTS games.
No, it is not base building. It is effectively capture the flag. And it's all with the minions. It's called Lord of Verminion.
Yeah, I need to try that someday.
Unfortunately, I dislike the controls.
Yeah,
I think it moves.
Said. And FK, it's at the Gold Saucer.
Yes, it's one of the games at the Gold Saucer. And any minion you have collected in-game becomes pieces on the board for you. So it's their way of having minion battles.
I hope Gala Kitten is a good piece in that game, because there's just no way I'd ever not use it.
I have never gotten past all the tutorial section because the control system just drove me nuts.
Ugh.
Well, it's designed to control on controllers, and you know my opinion of controllers.
Yeah. You like them better than I do.
And I dislike them lots. So what's our time looking at?
Average weight is up to 9, and we are up to 12.
But Lord of Vermilion does have its fans.
Does seem like one of those things where they might want to try a, second round of it and see if they can come up with a better version.
It's kind of up there with the Mahjong, which is such a good Mahjong game that people have created characters and log in just to go to the Gold Saucer and play Mahjong.
Yeah. You generally find that on the, Oceania and Japanese servers.
There are some people here, though.
Yeah.
The UA's, or North America's #1 player is level 15, and he's never progressed.
Because that's not the point.
That's not the point.
Average wait time is up to 12, we're at 13. All we've picked up is 2 DPS. You would think 2 heals would go a lot faster.
Yeah, think.
But yeah, give you an idea, FK, on where I'm coming from for computer games and such. One of the big loves of my life, I spent 18 months on it every moment I could get, and then finally hit burnout, was the original Civilization. And that's relatively late in my early computer gaming career. That's not where I started, that's where I kind of ended.
And of course, I went hard into things like Riven and Myst.
Yeah. Of course, at the time, I played a little of Myst and didn't get into it. Didn't get to see you play it. I got to see you play Riven and Myst 3. But, it was just a case of they dropped me a little too cold for that one. I wasn't figuring out what the heck should I be doing. But yeah, you've always been more the RPGs. Of course, I got to see a few people playing. Earlier is old Sean Craig playing some of Ultima 3 and Ultima 4, which is about all I saw of those to start with. Did eventually get and play Ring of Zolfin, and later borrowed a few things from Colin, but kind of one of my major early purchases was Pool of Radiance, which I never finished. I hit the final battle and noped out because I could see it was going to be another case of, I'm not quite ready for this, and it's either get back to an earlier save, which I'm not sure I had, or just run the battle like 20 times trying to get a version of events I could work with. Which would be the second time in the game I ran into that.
Ah, save scumming!
Hi, Doodles. And the first battle where I had to do that, I was only really getting anywhere because I was taking advantage of a bug in the game.
I still remember you spending an entire Saturday afternoon sitting on a porch in Might and Magic 6.
Oh,
and exploding yourself up and making a chart what each of the potions does.
Yeah. Might and Magic 6 did have a little bit of crafting in it. There was basically like flowers you could go gather, and you could basically get bottles and with a little bit of alchemy skill turn the flowers into potions. And there's like a red flower and a yellow flower and a blue flower. And from there you could mix, a red potion, a blue potion, and a yellow potion. And from there you could get secondary ones. And then from there were various powerful white and black potions. But only certain combinations worked. So, once you got past the secondary colors, you were in kind of uncharted territory of what was going to blow up in your face and what wasn't. So one morning, I basically save-scummed my way through figuring out what worked. It was basically, I dressed it in the end, load the game, go down, do potion mixing, say, okay, that one worked, put it into the chart. Okay, that one blew up, say, don't do that in the chart, etc. Just a simple spreadsheet of these are all the possible combinations and this is what they do. And just the image of, everyone else in the village watching this party come down to the porch of the inn and blow up and then come down, do it again. Good potion. Come down from the room again, blow up, etc. And the force of the explosion did vary because sometimes it just kill the party, and sometimes it just annihilate some of the members. Instead of having a corpse, he had this gravestone symbol that says, "Nope,
not coming back from that one."
At least not without a lot more work. And of course, then there's the other thing that had me kind of scratching my head and going, was, the cave that served as kind of an outworld dungeon. It wasn't a proper dungeon. Outside of Usurper. And, there's one section of the cave where you're just fighting snakes. Lots and lots of snakes. And you occasionally get loot off of them like you do off of any self-respecting monster in a computer RPG. And I was getting an awful lot of helmets, and I was going, they must be wearing the helmets. That's why I'm getting all these helmets. It's the only armor that snakes can use. Might and Magic 6 came out around the same time as Final Fantasy VII and did almost as much for computer RPGs as FF7 did for console RPGs. At least in the short term. And of course, the part of what actually made it popular is it was a big game. It was long. It took a lot of time to get through. And that, as it turns out, was an accident.
Yeah, when they did it, they never play tested the entire thing back to back, so they didn't realize how much content they actually had put into the game.
Yeah, they did all the pieces.
Until it became bragging points of people sending letters to 3DO explaining that they actually finally finished the game.
Yeah, once that started happening and, it was becoming apparent how long it was taking to finish New World Computing, which was the studio owned by 3DO that did the series, was going, yeah, that's like twice the time it was supposed to be.
No, we started getting letters about 6 months after its release of people going, "Yay, I finished!" And I'm like, oh.
Now, were you at Cyclone when that released, or did you come in like right after?
I was at Cyclone when that released.
Okay.
In fact, for Might and Magic 7, some of my feedback from playing 6, because I got a free copy for being an employee of 3DO at the time, actually went into 7.
Yes. I knew you couldn't have gotten there much more than like right after it released, but I wasn't sure if it was right before or right after.
One of the nice things about the game, or both 6 and 7, is that one of the issues you constantly hear in the development community is you have to make it twitchy. That's how you get the large casual audience.
Yeah.
And Might and Magic at that time had 2 modes. One was a twitchy real-time mode, but you could also play it turn-based.
Yeah, you could basically kind of put it on an auto-pause system.
And apparently, talking with the QA behind it,
yeah,
that was...
the QA people bothered with that.
Only the QA and it was effectively considered a developer mode, and they thought no one would actually play that way, and I'm like, yeah, I actually played the entire game that way, and they're like, what?
It's the only way to do it.
It's the only way to do it. So my basic feedback was, yeah, this worked great up until I had this particular encounter where I had to throw it into real-time mode, because when you were turn-based, you were basically planted. You could not move. Yeah. And I was like, it'd be nice if I just got like a round of movement in that turn-based.
Which is what they did.
There was a couple things I actually commented on too, and I don't remember what it was.
Yeah,
but they're like, oh, that's a good idea! And I'm like, yes, I actually play these games! I actually analyze them! What's good? What I like? What I don't like? Yeah, it's just me as an individual. And I admit everyone doesn't have my tastes, but at the same time, I don't have... Having a variety of taste is good. Huh?
I've done my part. I have assumed it, and it wasn't just me.
Yes.
Some more assuming might be good.
Already taken care of. Yeah, I constantly see these cries from Square Enix of, we need developers! You don't need to be a programmer! You just need to know how to work a spreadsheet! And I'm like, that'd be great, but I don't speak Japanese!
Yeah, boy.
No one's on the pagan knot in the back.
Indeed. People are headed for at least some of the stuff. Yeah, they're taking care of it.
New pagan knot up.
I was going to say there's someone else working on it, and then I realized it was you. Third knot. Okay, and we have someone definitely working on it.
Yeah, glad I kind of went to the back, even though I was kind of on my lonesome back there. I was able to stand on the trigger for the anti-poison.
Yes. It helps to know how all this works. I'm glad you do.
Yeah, the other thing that's been going on is the developers, just in games in general, are suddenly discovering, yes, there is a price point where people say, no, we won't buy this, it's too expensive.
Oh, yeah. Well, as one person I saw video from today was talking about, part of the problem is the economy is not the best right now. Drat.
Couldn't get out in time.
Nope. So, people are being a bit more careful with their money, which means they're much less likely to take a chance on an $80 game, especially given, the current reputation for working on it for AAA. And despite what, a lot of the big companies are saying, they're saying, things are bad, people aren't spending as much money on games, the answer is actually, no, people are actually spending about as much money. It's just there's a lot less going to AAA and more going to more quote-unquote indie titles now.
Yeah, apparently Dispatch, which came out last month, sold 2 million in its first week.
I remember you talking to me about that one.
It's a story-driven narrative game from what used to be the head of Telltale.
Yeah. Oh, right, Superhero Dispatch. I was trying to remember what the, more or less, would be high concept.
Basically an ex-superhero who can no longer be a superhero joins a dispatch team for other superheroes.
Yes.
And it looks really good. Yeah, the only reason why I pre-order FF14 games is that I know I'm going to get $60 worth of entertainment out of it.
Yeah, which is also me and Paradox's homespun games, as opposed to the ones they publish. And boy, yeah, I have already gotten $60 worth out of Europa Universalis 5. Thank you.
Yeah, but I can't say that for a lot of other games.
No. Which is the entire point.
And yet, things like Silksong are dominating the market because they have a low price point.
Yeah, so people are much more willing to take a chance on $20.
What was the joke? Steam is the biggest gotcha in the world. You go to a Steam summer sale and you spend a few bucks and see if you actually get a good game out of it.
Yeah.
Now, even though I'll probably dislike the game, I'm tempted to go ahead and bite the bullet on the collector's edition for Utawari Ramono Zon, just to get the freaking soundtrack!
Yeah, and to help encourage Utawari Ramono in general.
Yeah.
There is something to be said for that. Since it is a property you've grown to love.
Well, it's a love-hate relationship kind of thing, you know?
Fair.
I think it would be a better property if they did certain things that they're not willing to do because they think that's what the game is known for. Yeah. And it's like, no, this has the potential of being something else completely different and better because of it. Yeah, I did not see who won Game of the Year at the Game Awards. I know there was a lot of people who actually purposely sat out Game of the Year. I've got
Come
poops.
on. No. Ow.
Wow!
What was that about?
I think we failed the mechanic.
You failed something. There's like our tank and that's it. No, there's somebody in a different party. 2 of the tanks.
Never seen that before. Oh no!
Yeah, we're down to the B tank. Who only needs 2%. 1.9. Get those defenses going. This is the part that's going to be bad. So, what do you know about this mechanic?
I think this is soft and rage.
Oh, that's bad. Come on! No! Som close? Is that related to Som all?
You know, waiting for your healers would have been a wise idea.
Nah. Much healthier.
It was.
For signaling values of healthy.
Oh, I'm not surprised Claire Obscure cleaned house. I haven't played that one. It's still kind of out of my price range, but...
Now, let's see. Which one is that again?
That's the European done JRPG turn-based.
European done, okay.
Yeah, it's actually French.
Huh.
And it basically is Final Fantasy if it was given a AAA budget, even though it wasn't a AAA team.
Okay, then.
And it's just been cleaning everyone's clocks. It, and of course Diablo 3, or not Diablo 3, Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah. That I would expect to clean house pretty good.
It did the year it came out.
Has it been that long already?
Yes.
Now, what's the time span for the awards?
I don't know.
Considering, usually it's within this calendar year, but this calendar year isn't even over yet.
I don't know. I'm sorry, all I can remember was, the Joe Cat joke of what's gonna win Game of the Year a year from now, and his answer was Silk Song, and like a couple months later,
a week later was when they announced it. By the way, it's coming out.
No, they mean what do they count as a year for voting purposes?
Yeah, what qualifies for the awards that, what calendar section qualifies?
Because it isn't necessarily January to December. Like Oscars, it's like April to like February the following year.
And they certainly couldn't very well have, December 2025 games included in the awards they just did because, well, December isn't even over yet.
Look away!
Way. Looks like everyone got that right. At least in our party. Not get out of that in time. At least one person leveled.
Mogs, tombstones. So, I have to ask, maybe Doodles will know, how many AI ads paid to have a spot on the Game Awards trailer? The world is quiet. Because, like, the previous year, you had that cat gotcha game that was just... wow.
Okay. Shall we?
I'm working on it.
Okay. And let me double check real fast. Collection, Compendium, Weekly, Copper Bell Mines Hard.
Yeah, the cat game from the year previous was special.
Oh, so you were doing just the two of us?
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
I just...
I from what you were saying, I figured you'd just invite a couple of DPS in.
Well, we could do that, I suppose. But we could do it this way, too.
Right. Will I get XP this way?
Yes.
Okay.
Because we are level
Because we're
synced.
I need to show some true crit here.
Yes, please do. Incoming!
That's his problem. Well, that was good timing. Goblins. Where did they even get the idea for those critters?
Doblins?
Yeah.
There is actually a mythological root for Doblins, and I don't remember what it was.
I'm more thinking of the design.
Oh, walking clams. That's
Something
effectively
like that?
what they are. Yeah, these bogies don't want to pull for beans.
No. I'm just working on the guy who hits hardest. And does unauthorized AoEs.
Oh, that's good to hear. Nothing too crazy then. But yeah, it does not surprise me Claire Obscura swept things. They sounded like they did everything right.
So it would seem.
Yeah, I remember this company, and a lot of the people in it were trying to get Ashanti to try different games, and they kept getting, you know Ashanti, they kept giving her like Fortnite and Call of Duty, and it's like, no. No, these are not the games she would like.
Now, in what way were they trying to get her to do things?
Well, she had been hired at the time to help.
There they are.
To help do animations for a quote-unquote gaming company, i.e. slot machines.
Right.
And a bunch of the people who were there already employed were already gamers, and it's like, why is this non-gamer here? We must teach her the wonders of gaming. And then they gave her all the wrong games.
And they gave her all the things that they liked.
Because she's...
what gaming is now.
And apparently Sun Worlds, the makers of Myst and Riven...
Oh, Cyan.
Yeah.
Come on.
They are actually still producing games just independently.
Okay.
So I've been
They
meaning
were
to...
the last I saw, but it's been so long I kind of figured they'd probably gone under.
No, they're still going.
Oh, very good.
I can believe No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
Help.
Oh. Where'd these guys come from? Okay. Come on.
Do you know what took Best Community? Which is a slight misnomer because the actual category is Best Community Support.
I was kind of wondering, you know, how would you just judge a community? It'd be very hard to do an award for.
Oh, Wuthering Waves. Yeah, that's part of the Hoyoverse.
Huh, don't know that one.
It's one of the more recent ones, though they just came out with a new one that they've been beta testing for a little bit. The big thing with the Hoyoverse is that, yeah, they're gacha games, and their gacha practices are annoying, but their games as actual games are solid, which is why they're kind of eating the gacha market alive.
Yeah. And the various games tend to, you know, be aimed at doing different things, which is...
Oh, look, it's
No,
Spectre
something for
Puddles.
everyone is always good. Yes.
Okay, I thought
mean,
Wuthering
that was
Waves
the-
was part of the Hoyoverse.
Now, that was the thing about Might and Magic for a little bit. Kind of interrupted by...
Move on?
Yeah.
Actually...
3DO going further and further into faster, cheaper.
Wait here for a little bit. Come on, get into range. Incoming bomb.
Right. No, you killed them.
Yep. I did do that.
Okay, there's some big guys.
Yep.
And here they come. And time to move. Wow, those guys do not last long, do they? Bomb. You got him?
Working on it.
But yeah, New World Computing, part of 3DO, which we were talking about, you know, they had their original set of role-playing games, computer RPGs, which was the Might and Magic series. Then they had Heroes of Might and Magic, which was a turn-based strategy game, and it's a quite successful series. And then they had Crusaders of Might and Magic, which was basically a first-person shooter style. And I think they had one other.
They also had an MMO, which never really went anywhere.
Right. And especially the later stuff was all technically the same world. The first few Might and Magics shared themes, but kind of reset on world a couple of times, though they were all dealing with the same kind of situation and all dealing with what would basically be different colony ships.
Incoming from the sides.
Go. And then 4 and 5 were basically a unit. Basically, they were tight at the hip. And I'm not sure if I don't think Heroes 1 was really meant to be linked to that, but Heroes 2 was a direct sequel to
Incoming.
the first one. And then Might and Magic 6 was a sequel to Heroes of Might and Magic 2. Yeah. Oh, we have a new guy. And so on from there. So, like everything from the first Heroes of Might and Magic game on for their releases were part of a continuing narrative. Even though the original Heroes of Might and Magic didn't really have a narrative.
Yeah, this is the fight that's going to be trouble.
Yes. Yes, I remember. Not very well, but I do
Planting
remember.
Waymaker.
There it goes. Get a new bomb?
As soon as I figure out where they place it.
It's right under you. No, come over here!
He'll come back. He'll come back.
Yeah, he's starting to feel it.
Oh, come on.
Live! Thank you.
Move from there!
Ha! Successfully navigated that, largely speaking. I am abusing unmend.
Do so. Dropping it up top.
There we go. Piggy is small, but Piggy's heart is big! You tell yourself that. Excuse me.
Whee! I can't believe we did that.
Yeah, a lot better than the last attempt.
Bonk!
One got really crazy.
Yeah, considering I had to solo the last part of it.
Yeah. Did I grab that frog?
No.
No.
Because it's not just going to be the frog.
Aw. Let's see. Yeah. One other guy came. So not the rest of the stuff.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, come on. No, there we go.
Okay, that's most of everyone.
Yeah. Once that got going, they went down kind of fast, which was nice. Now for more.
Get the sprites or the slimes around the corner.
Slimes.
trying to remember my sageness.
You can give sage advice now?
Not even. Nicely done. Yeah, take him back in here. Try and pick up the ads when they come in.
And I'm gonna have to grab crystals, or is that you?
That's me.
Okay. What am I doing besides tanking him?
Taking him back in here.
Yeah.
And picking up ads.
Okay. I knew there had to be more. There's a crystallized rock where I am if you want me to pick it up for you at some point.
Nope.
75%. Didn't quite get far enough away.
Yeah, the slow's annoying.
And I'm just having problems getting out of its range. That really should have been out.
And that was the last crystal, so expect complications.
And we're just at 50. Not even that yet. That's gonna get... Add... Impact Roar. Ah! Right. Come on, steer. I won't steer.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
At plural. %. I see. It's knockback on some of these.
Yeah, one has knockback, the other has the slow.
Right. Well, 2%.
There we go. We're running a little overtime, but no biggie. It's a Friday night.
Considering we started this at like 11, yes.
Oh, sorry.
You didn't even notice.
No, I didn't I thought.
Poiter took a long time for us to get it into.
Yeah. Shall we go see what we can buy with our muggy tomes?
Well, first things first. Claim rewards.
Yes.
And that gets me to 104. Oh yes, let's go. Looks like 90,000 for the third boss there.
Nice.
Yeah. 150. 2 or 3 more runs like that would actually level me, but I've got other things to do instead. Like I have a number of class quests to get through.
Yeah. Those class quests are a little important at your level on Dark Knight.
Very important.
But you've got Salted Earth.
Yeah, no, not in there I didn't, because that's still 52.
Yeah.
But yeah, I need to go through the rest again.
Look at your health bar!
Oh. yeah.
See, there's 2 little dots at the end of that. Each one of those dots represents a full health bar of health shielding.
Yes. So the shield is worth like 3 times my total health.
Yeah, that's just hilarious. And I think that's the max you can have.
Probably. It's kind of like the first Kingdom Hearts game where they have the health bars and then and they're green, and once you go past what they're willing to show on the screen, it goes to different colors. Okay, I don't have that. That's kind of lowest priority. Ooh, Parasol is 30. Okay. It looks like I'm down to the Parasol and modern aesthetics, fashionably feathered. Plus the earrings, which I'm not worried about.
Do I get the Porksy earrings or the booze earrings? I have 133. If I could get 20 more, I could get both.
Yeah. Which would you rather have?
I think the Porksy, I'd get more use out of them.
That makes sense. So get that, and then over the next couple of days, see if you can get yourself another, like, 20 tomes.
Yeah,
which is going to require doing the generalist stuff, which is like 2 to 5 at a time.
You can't see the Porksy through my hair.
Oops.
I'm gonna throw this in the glamour chest real quick, and then we'll head back to the house and then call it an evening. By the way, you are coming shopping with me tomorrow because I seem to be missing a thread type.
Okay. I'm going to be shopping with Baron, too.
Assuming Baron's going to be up for shopping.
Yeah, if he isn't, then we're going shopping for him.
Right. Grocery shopping?
We need a cable adapter. Cable adapter.
Yeah. Cable adapter for his Mac.
Yeah.
His new Mac.
And that's the thing is I know what we need, and we can do that without him.
Okay, fair enough.
Getting it up and running afterwards, we'll see, though. Considering that it's basically complaining that it can't see the video, no, that was not what I wanted. I just wanted to follow. We can even hook it up and it'll probably just work. More or less. Because it sounds like it knows what to do. It's just going, there should be video and there's no video.
Yeah, that sounds like cable.
Now, hopefully this will work, right? Because we will be doing video over USB 3, which you can do. And hopefully the drivers are smart enough for that, because I don't think this thing has anything else it can use.
Just out of curiosity, would he be able to take my tablet if need be?
It'll come down to the same thing of whether or not the drivers are smart enough for video over USB. Because that's like the only input he has. Probably double check that, but as far as I know, that's all he's got.
Yeah, that I don't know.
Yeah,
my problem is I thought I had purchased a black embroidery thread, and I can't find it. It's not in the car. It's not here.
Whoops.
It is a wall, and I need it to work on the current thing.
Of course you do.
So we will see. With that said, it is time and past time to call the night. Thank you all very much for joining us. We will be back tomorrow night for more Deep Dungeon Shenanigans and Pilgrim's Traverse. Woo. And maybe we'll get past that stupid freaking antlion!
That would be good.
Grr, grumble, grumble, grumble.
Yes.
Yeah, if you can, either clip or point me at that video with the timestamp so we can review it before going in tomorrow. That would be great.
Try and remind me.
Yeah. I wish Unga Bunga wouldn't await.
Yeah. He is the maker of much sadness.
Yes, yes. He is being our behemoth currently. With that said, you all be safe, be well, get a good night's sleep, and I'm gonna shuffle you over to Zarin!
Yes. Oh, very good. Yeah, everyone have a great night. Hope to see you here tomorrow doing things similar to what Zarin is doing right now.
Yes. Good night, all.